Hey, fellow geographers, welcome to another edition of Quarantine Geography, Day 6. Today we're going to stick to the land and explore some different types of forest biomes. A deciduous forest, a coniferous forest, a tropical rainforest, and then we'll look at a biome that's near and dear to our hearts here in Nebraska, a grassland. So your job is to add those 4 vocabulary terms and definitions to your Quizlet. I believe we're at 24 terms now. And then at the end of the video, I will have a new assignment for you. Only a couple quarantine geographies left. So make sure you're getting all your assignments done. So kick back and relax and let's explore the world together. So our first vocabulary term is a deciduous forest. Deciduous forest is a forest biome with broad flat leaf trees that are shed before the winter. Now our deciduous forest example is going to be right here in the United States in the Great Smoky Mountains. And so in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park on kind of the North Carolina-Tennessee border, there's a massive deciduous forest. And as you can see, these broad leaves on the trees, you probably have seen before, but the key difference here with a deciduous forest and let's say a tropical rainforest or a coniferous forest is these leaves are going to shed before the winter. So here in the Midwest, we have obviously 4 different seasons and we see trees changing throughout the season. That's a good sign of a deciduous tree. Now, a good measure of these biomes that you can use is the latitude. So at our latitude here in Nebraska, kind of a temperate latitude, we're going to have a lot of deciduous forests. As you go farther north in the latitudes, coniferous forests get a lot more common. And as you go further south toward the equator, the tropical rainforests are going to become a lot more common. So the latitude has a huge impact on which biome you're going to find. Now we still have coniferous forests here in our temperate latitude, but let's go and look a little bit further north where coniferous forests are much more common. In fact, one of the largest coniferous forests in the world. It stretches all across North America and it's called a boreal forest. Sometimes these coniferous forests are also called a taiga. And this coniferous forest way up in northern Canada, this is actually near Yellowknife, is a forest biome with cone-bearing evergreen trees. So rather than the broadleaf deciduous trees, we're going to have cone-bearing evergreen trees. And they're called evergreen because they do not lose their cone-bearing leaves throughout the year. And so you've probably seen some coniferous trees in this area as well. And if you go up north, you are going to find predominantly coniferous forests, such as this one here, some beautiful scenery up in the isolated north of Canada. Can't beat those views. Okay, now our next biome, we're going to go way south. Closer to the equator, we get a much more tropical climate, and so we see rainforests. Now, rainforests have something in common with both deciduous and coniferous forests. They're similar to the deciduous forests because they have these broadleaf trees. But a key difference with deciduous forests is they do not lose their leaves because near the equator they don't really have a true cold winter like we do. And so the Amazon keeps its green. Now, like a coniferous forest, these are evergreen, but unlike a coniferous forest, they are not the pine cone bearing leaves. They are more like the broadleaf trees of a deciduous forest. Now, as a geographer, I'm sure you have already figured this out, but this is the mighty Amazon River. Flows through the Amazon rainforest. And so I wanted to show you a zoomed out version of just how massive the Amazon rainforest is. And you'd have to go over to Africa to find another rainforest. It's not quite as big as the Amazon, but it's also massive. Tropical rainforest, not nearly as common as deciduous and coniferous forests in the north. But as you can see, the Amazon rainforest takes up a massive amount of South America. It's not just in Brazil, like some people may think. It spreads all over the place. Okay? Now, those three are forested regions, obviously very heavy with trees. Let's go to a biome that is known for having little to no trees, a grassland. Now, the grassland is often found similar to the same latitude as the deciduous forests, but usually much more on the interior of continents. So here in Nebraska, for example, we are on the interior of North America. And so we have a lot of grassland, as you know. And grasslands have a lot of common characteristics: really good soil, moderate rainfall, thick grasses, and herds of grazing animals. That's why livestock production is so large. You can see some livestock, or there's some hail bays maybe out there. It's like hay, or some hay bales out in the distance there, but you'll see animals grazing a lot as well in Nebraska. And that's because we have these grasslands. Okay, so this one obviously should be very common to you. Okay, now your assignment this week is one that we have not really done before. So we're going to explore the animals in each of these biomes. Remember, a biome by definition is kind of somewhere that living things exist. And so what living things, specifically animals, are in each of these biomes? We've kind of looked at the plant life. Let's look at the animals. So what kind of animals are in a grassland, a deciduous forest, a coniferous forest, and a rainforest? Okay, so give me a few examples in each one, put it on a Google Doc, and share it with me. You don't have to find a picture of them this week. Just write them on a Google Doc and share it with me. If you're not done with your other assignments, really try and start catching up. We're just going to one per week so that you can catch up before the end of the school year, which is coming very quickly. So stay safe and have a great week.